How much do you guys debate, whether you're going to do more of a straight adaptation or give it a little tweak? Do you sometimes have arguments with each other about, no, Master Planner should be this person, or Big Man should be this person?
We definitely have discussions. We break stories, we break an arc at a time, but Kevin Hobbs and Randy Jan and I broke the whole second season together in advance, and then the writers came in and we broke an arc at a time, and Vic is part of that. Marvel and Sony also. There are a lot of people with input, but I will say this: it's surprisingly little conflict. I mean, we'll come up with something and we just try to go with the best idea. We're trying to be true to the spirit of the characters as much as possible. We're trying to be true to the original stories, but we have to contemporize things, and we're trying to make things a little more coherent. And we're borrowing from all sorts of different eras and weaving all these characters together, so some things are going to change. We try to be really faithful to the spirit of the original stories, the spirit of the original characters, and so when we come up with a good idea that's working for us, there hasn't been a lot of argument about it because it just sort of feels right. It feels like, there's a parallel universe out there where that's what's going on, and we're tapping into it.
Can we trust your version of Frederick Foswell, or is he just a powder keg ready to blow?
Frederick Foswell has his secrets. That's all I'm going to say.
I wanted to ask about the DVDs. As I mentioned, Volume 2, 3, and 4 will all be out in the next couple months, sort of the movie versions you've done. You talked before that there will eventually be a Season 1 box set. Any update on that?
We don't have an exact date yet, but it's coming out and it's going to have some surprises on there.
It's coming out this summer. We don't know the exact date, but it is coming out this summer.
And Season 2, you might be way too early to know DVD release pattern, but did you sort of arc Season 2 like you did one with sort of the mini arcs?
Season 2 was exactly the same. 4 arcs. The first arc, which is the Master Planner arc, takes place in December of Peter's junior year of high school. The next 3 are it's a month per arc, January, February, March. So Season 2 takes us through March of his junior year.
Sean, I wanted to ask about Venom, because you did a really cool thing with him where he had basically both the Spider-Man 3 movie version of the costume, and it sort of slowly changed into something like the comic book version. Whose idea was that? How did that come about?
I think it was a collaborative thought. There was something that worked in the movies, basically, I guess, showing a transition. And in the comics, there was some cool transitions, of course. But I think what we want to do is just kind of show that by some of the weapon disappearing or whatnot, that he was turning to the darker side,
Well, yeah, when we were putting together the design list and thinking about this show, we had the 2 designers that were trying to decide which way we should go, and in the meeting we decided to do both. And just to show visually the losing itself in Simeon, and then the middle phase, as Sean said, was much. So that's part of the collaborative process of making the show.
Josh, I would imagine that arc was a pretty cool one for you to do, because you got to play a kind of darker side of Peter, show some different emotions that we've seen from that character.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have to say one of my favorite episodes of Season 1 was Intervention, where everything kind of comes to a head. Mainly because it was it was an origin without being an origin, and it really gave you a lot of insight into the inner workings of Peter Parker and who he is and how he became that way. I really just I enjoyed the writing of it. I enjoyed the pacing of it. It was a cool little break from just the standard superhero fighting a villain thing, where he's actually struggling with his own demons. I really thought it was a really interesting episode.
We're going to start taking audience questions in a couple minutes. There's a microphone right down this aisle if you want to get lined up there. In the meantime, I wanted to ask Greg, you talked a little bit about a gang war is in the works on the show. Can you speak about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to actually speak about it. We do have a gang war coming. We've got a number of different factions in New York City, and that will develop throughout the season and into the 3rd arc of Season 2, and I think it's pretty exciting. Obviously, it involves Tombstone, Hammerhead, Doc Ock, Silvermane, so I think it's going to be pretty cool.
What do I have to do to get the Crime Master on the show?
Bribery always works. What we really need is more episodes. So, any of you out there who have Nielsen boxes, do us a favor, watch the show. We're very hopeful that we'll get a pickup for season 3. We have tons of ideas for season 3. We just don't have the official pickup yet. And, give us enough episodes and we'll get to everybody.
Okay, well, let's start taking audience questions.
Hi guys, great job on the first season. Total fun to watch. I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan, but I really, really, really enjoyed the
Thanks.
show. Just real quick question. So, watching NWB, it's moving to Disney XD. What's the story behind that?
Kids WB had the series, and then Kids WB went away, and they gave their time up to what's it called? CW for Kids. And so, our reruns aired on CW for Kids for a period of time, but then, now we're moving to the brand new Disney XD on March 23rd, 2009.
And everyone should go to McDonald's because they have some really cool spectacular Spider-Man toys there.
Yeah,
I already started getting on
and
that.
I really like it.
And again, hamburger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, just found out that, I can't remember your name, but number 2, he announced you as, the guy who used to work on Kim Possible. And I was a big fan of Kim Possible, and I was wondering if there was ever going to be any new episodes or you completely finished.
Are you asking if there's going to be new episodes of Kim Possible?
Yeah.
They're done with Kim Possible. They did over 100 episodes. They're finished.
Thank you.
But watch Spectacular Spider-Man on Disney XD.
Hi, gentlemen. My name is Max Alexis. I'm with JustPressPlay.net. I was wondering, cognizant of the fact that it's an animated show, so you obviously can do more of whatever you want. Since you're dealing with such an iconic character, is there anything with the Spider-Man mythology that you either won't or can't do?
I don't want to race ahead. That is, we're dealing with Peter Parker's early years, and I'm not kidding, I'm not saying they're going to let me, but I would love to do this show for the next 10 years. And like I said, given enough episodes, there's, the possibilities are endless. On the other hand, I don't want to, we've done 2 seasons and we only went from September to March. And so I don't want to rush and do stories, in essence, ahead of their time. Now, obviously, we've conflated a lot of different eras. We brought Venom in, a lot sooner than Stan and Steve brought Venom in. That was a joke. All right, anyway, but it's a tough room. We feel we're doing stories that fit the Peter Parker, fit the Spider-Man that's 16 years old, and so the only real constraint from a storytelling standpoint that I see is that I'm not trying to do stories that take place and need to take place later in his life.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Just a follow-up on that, Greg. I remember when we spoke last summer, and I think a lot of people, mostly just because Venom was on the show, I heard some people say, wow, they got through so much in those 13 episodes, but as you pointed out to me, there's like 45 years of stories.
Yeah, we're not running out, don't worry.
Hey, my name is Marco. This question here is for Sean. Big fan. Everyone in my studio had followed you on, I don't know if you know what, you have fans, on DeviantArt for years, deviantart.com.
Right.
And,
Wait, let's do a count how many DeviantArt people are in here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks, everybody.
yeah, for real.
Thank you.
I have a 2-part question. The first one is, when you've got your contract, you're going there, you're, oh boy, working on Spider-Man, I'm going to illustrate some characters, oh boy, you sit down, and what was the very first thing you did where it's like, oh yeah, this is it. And the second part of the question is, well, thank you. The second part
Let me answer that one first, and so I don't forget.
Very good.
Put my ball on Peter Parker.
Right.
That was the first one.
Here.
That was the sample.
Yeah, right on the cheek. Good work.
I will say that Sean did a lot of great